Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by today and thank you for clicking on this video. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how I cooked this delicious seafood okra. It's very delicious, very healthy, and very quick to make. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video as I'll share with you everything that you need to know on how to cook this recipe. So here I have some fresh fish that's a church member, Mrs. Linda, gave it to me in my church, and she had already cut the head, but I told her, I said, hey Miss Linda, I do eat the fish head too. So she laughed. She said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that because I don't eat it. I said, okay, that's fine. So this is what I'm going to use for this recipe. And here I have some fresh some pre-cooked shrimp. You can use the fresh one preferably. And here I have my fresh organic okra straight from my garden, guys. So if you haven't seen my garden videos, I'm gonna leave it in the description box below, so make sure you check it out. You see, in my garden I have some okra, some potatoes, some tomatoes, fresh basil, a lot of things, pepper. But hey, for this recipe I'm talking about okra alone. Okay, so here I have my fresh basil too from my garden. I have 3 habanero peppers from my garden and this red bell pepper, and have onion that I'm going to use for this recipe. Now my basil is just a handful of it, just a handful of basil. Okay, and here I have my 3 Knorr cubes, Knorr seasoning. Okay, 1 2 3. This is what I'm going to use for this recipe. No more, just 3. And for the pepper, if you do not like your food to be spicy, you can use just one of it, or you can just keep putting the habanero pepper. You can put just the red bell pepper, but I like my food to be spicy. That's why I'm putting 3 habanero peppers. So here I am cutting my fresh basil leaves. You want to go ahead and cut it into chunks as you desire. If you want it in big chunks, you cut it like that, but I don't like the big chunks. That's why I'm cutting it to be tiny, not very tiny. Okay, so after cutting my basil, I'm cutting my onion. I'm chopping it into smaller chunks, okay, not large chunks. And here is my red bell pepper. What you want to do is to remove this seed. You don't want to blend the seed together with the pepper, so remove the seeds. Okay, take your time and do this and keep the seeds. You can plant the seeds if you have a garden, it will grow, or you put it in a potting soil and it will grow. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use. So as for my okra, I'm going to just slice it into 2 places like this before I cut it. I slice it like this before I cut it because I want the okra to be in small chunks. I don't like it to be in big slices. I don't like it to be round like the big slices. No, that's why I'm cutting it, dividing it into 2 before I start cutting it, because when you do it this way, it's going to give you that the small chunks that you want, you know. But if you don't want it, you can just leave it, like skip this part, and then you just go ahead and cut it and have those round chunks, you know, as big as you want. Okay, so yeah, I am chopping my okra like this to make sure that I get that desired chunks that I want. So you want to go ahead and do the same for yours, or you do whatever you like to do with yours. If you want it round, then no need to divide it before you start cutting it. And I know that some people do confuse seafood okra with okra soup, Nigerian okra soup, or just okra soup. Those are 2 different recipes, and if you want to see the difference between this seafood okra and the regular okra soup, check out the description box below for my okra soup recipe. So this is my chopped okra. After I chopped it, I had a lot of it, and this food is going to be a little bit more because I'm doing it for my family. So here is my blended red bell pepper. Just red bell pepper. I did not add the habanero pepper here, but I blended it roughly. You want to blend it roughly, you don't want it to be smooth. So here is my fish in my container. I'm adding, sprinkling a little bit of salt to it because I want it to taste so good. Yes, that's what you want, don't you? So yeah, I'm just throwing it up like this, just to make sure that the salt rubs on each of the fish, everything is good. So I boiled some water. You want to do the same, especially for fresh fish. Every time you have fresh fish, pour your hot water into this fish. What does this do? I learned this from my mom. We all have that one or two, or in fact a lot of things that we pick up from our parents. This is one of the cooking skills, tricks that I got from my mom. So she used to pour hot water into her fish. So I asked her why, and she said because it will get that fish smell out, especially because this one is wild caught. She caught it straight from the sea because Miss Linda goes for fishing, so she loves to fish. I had to pour in that hot water to get that fish fish smell out. And here I am straining it out to put it in my spacious pan. You want to use a spacious pan or pot that gives it room, gives the fish room, because so that when you cook it and you want to flip it over, you will not break the fish. So yeah, this is our fish, and I'm going to pour my shrimp into this fish, and then we begin cooking this delicious goodness. Don't you just love this? Don't you just love this? I do. So yes, I blended the habanero pepper, the 3 habanero peppers you saw. I blended it with a little bit of water, and here is what I'm pouring into this pot of goodness. Okay, and I'm going to pour in my chopped onions. Pour in your chopped onions as much as you want. If you don't like a lot of onions, then don't pour in a lot of onions, but I do. That's why I'm pouring it in, and I'm adding my knorr cubes here, my 3 knorr cubes. I'm adding it here because I'm not going to add it again to the soup. That's why I'm adding it here. This is going to serve as my seasoning, okay? Because I want the fish to taste so good. And I'm pouring in just a little bit of salt, just sprinkling a little bit of salt, and I'm distributing it in the pot to make sure everything will be well cooked, okay? The seasoning, the shrimp, the fish, I want it to be well cooked. And I'm adding just some hot water, a little bit of hot water, because I want it to start cooking immediately. Because if you add some cold water, it will take a little bit of time, but if you add hot water, it will start cooking immediately. Cover your pot like this, and then you start cooking. So for my fish, I cooked it roughly for about 7 minutes. So after 7 minutes, let's see what our fish looks like. Ooh, it's done. It tastes so good. I had to clean while cooking to make the job easier. You know what I'm talking about. So yes, this is it. Our fish is done. The shrimp tastes so good. Everything perfect. I added a little bit of water to it to cook it to the end, okay? So you might want to check that out. So I set it aside, and then put my non-sticking pot on my stove, and then I'm adding some olive oil, as you can see, some olive oil, and then I added a little bit of palm oil for the flavor. Girl, if you don't want to add this palm oil, you can skip this part. And I heated up the oil, and then here we go, putting my sliced onions in the You know that sound? Yeah. So I am stirring my onions here to make sure that it is mixed into my oil, and I'm going to add my red bell pepper that I blended. Remember I said blend it roughly, just chop it, okay? So, and I'm going to stir it to make sure that I mix both the onions and the pepper together. You want to go ahead and add some crayfish, just half a cup of crayfish, but I'm not adding everything at once now because I'm going to add the remaining one later. So stir it to make sure everything is mixed well, okay? And pour in the fish stock, the fish water, to help with the cooking process, and stir it like this. And then you will go ahead and add your chopped okra, to it, and then you stir it to make sure it is mixed well. Everything is perfectly mixed together. So I'll go ahead and add the remaining crayfish like this, and I'm going to stir it to make sure everything is mixed well. And I'm pouring my fish into my pot along with the water and the shrimp. I'm adding some hot water to make sure that it helps with the cooking process, because if you add cold water, it's going to take a little bit of time before it gets hot and then it starts cooking. But I want my veggies to be fresh and crunchy. I'm talking about the okra now. So that's why I'm adding some hot water, so that it will start cooking immediately. I'm adding my fresh basil leaves that I had already cut into my pot along with this, so that everything will cook at once. And I'm adding some more water. You want to check the consistency that you want. If you still need to add some more water, you do. If not, you just let it be, okay? So it depends on the consistency that you want. I didn't want it to be too thick, so that's why I'm adding some more water to it. So check your own consistency and what you desire. So I'm testing my soup now to see if the seasoning, everything is fine, and I observed that I still needed just a little bit of salt. So I'm adding just a little bit of salt now to my soup to complete the test. So check your own. If it needs a little bit of salt, you sprinkle it. If not, you leave it alone. So yeah, this is it, and I'm stirring it to make sure everything is good. It's good. So listen, at this point my soup is cooking on a medium low, because I don't want to cook it on high. Like I said, I love my vegetables to be fresh and crunchy, okay? I like it fresh and crunchy, okay? So if you love yours to be very cooked, you can leave it, cover your pot here, and then you cook it for about 10 minutes so that the okra will be really cooked. But no, I love mine to be fresh and crunchy because I want to get the nutrients from it. So here Our soup is ready. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Can you see how simple this food is? This recipe is so simple, very nutritious, and very, very healthy, and a quick recipe. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Savannah Naija Foodie. Savannah Naija Foodie. So if you enjoyed this video, if you liked it, please give me a giant thumbs up, share, and then subscribe. And when you subscribe, you click the bell icon, because I post at least 2 videos every week. So I really appreciate you watching my videos. Thank you so much for your constant love and support. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Try this recipe and let me know what you think. Thank you.